Tito's with bubbly and grapefruit.
Sounds all right. Sounds pretty good. I'm drinking water.
Grapefruit's my new thing.
I work at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm still recovering from last night. Yeah. Hopefully we didn't catch the coronavirus from that Sneaky D's.
Bruja says that the feed is like Walter, choppy, but we sound great.
Okay.
Never mind. Bubbly. Yes.
Bubbly. Okay.
Do the bubbly. Let's go.
All right. So everyone in the YouTube room, we're going to start recording our podcast, which of course you can always find the podcast version wherever you get your podcast. But we're going to start recording and we're going to do it live. So thanks for joining us. And cool. Hello. Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next, postwrestling.com, patreon.com/upnext, at upnext podcast on Twitter. It's like the Avengers meets Guardians of the Galaxy.
And you failed to mention again. YouTube.com/upnext. Hello, the YouTube room.
Yes, true. This is true. We are live on our YouTube, as we are live every Wednesday night after NXT airs at 10:30 Wednesday nights. YouTube.com/upnext. Yes, hello, YouTube room. I see the comments are blowing up here, everyone. Did you all watch Worlds Collide? Because that's what we're here to talk about. Yeah.
A few are watching the UFC, but just wanna pop in. Guesses who that is. Eric.
Got you. Yes, he never watches NXT, but he joins our YouTube live every week. Shout out Eric. So yeah, it's the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think someone said that on a show today, and I was all right, cool. But it turned out being an amazing show. Actually, the show we're here to talk about tonight, Worlds Collide.
Yeah, the first NXT and NXT UK co-branded pay-per-view.
Right. It split us because we are so I support NXT North America, and you, of course.
I mean, I didn't disown my country and just move halfway across the world at all. Right. I'm Team UK, baby.
You're like Pete Dunne. You just came over here, and everyone's cool with it.
Wait, I'm just trying to think. Out of all the NXT UK winners tonight, none of them were from the UK.
Pretty much.
I think that's completely accurate.
That is actually very accurate.
Yeah.
Because even there was a match that had Finn Balor, who was representing NXT, and then there was a guy, Dragunov, who was representing NXT UK, but he's Russian. So that was confusing.
You had Jordan Devlin, who's Irish. You have Imperium, who are Italian, German, and Austrian.
Wow.
There's no representation from the UK.
Of
the winners, that
shouldn't it be NXT Europe then? I don't know.
Yeah,
what would you call it?
I feel they should rebrand it.
Yeah. Not just UK.
They're in a rebranding phase at the moment, so
aren't they ever? But this was
NXT EU.
Yeah, this was a fun show, though.
This was
an awesome show. It feels like it was like a takeover, but kind of like a weird house show. It should have been a takeover considering it's the Rumble, but this, I think people really like the show. I really like the show, and I think that it got over pretty well. The build up to it, maybe not so much. They were just like, hey, here's a bunch of matches we're going to give you. Matches sound great, and they were. So that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the and bear with me, like the Saudi Arabia shows.
Yeah.
Like a pay-per-view event, but essentially a house show. Like, what are the stakes really? These were put together in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like the Finn Balor, Ilya Dragunov fight was based on I'm watching him on my iPad. And who is this Russian guy? That was basically the feud. Who is this guy? And then the other guy going like, "Hi, I'm Ilya," and then that's the match.
Right.
So I think on paper the matches look great, and we kind of knew they would deliver.
Yes.
Excitement going in, meh.
Sure. I agree.
It's same with Survivor Series every year. I feel they could have been more creative, maybe because they've got Portland in 2 weeks. Kind of that's their main focus. I feel the taping structure of NXT UK holds back from actually doing some really cool cross promotion, because I feel you could have really built NXT UK up. That should have been must see viewing going into this event.
Yeah.
If you want the full story, you've got to watch NXT UK. You've got to watch NXT. Whereas it wasn't important at all.
It seemed like a weird house show vibe to me or something. But don't get me wrong, this show delivered, in my opinion. This was fantastic. It was like a sleeper hit, if you say. But it shouldn't even be that. It's actually not. I should retract that, because anytime NXT puts a show on and it's a Saturday night, call it a takeover or not, it's going to deliver with the way they do.
Totally.
This was awesome. I don't know how the Royal Rumble is going to top this tomorrow night, but I guess we shall see. So a quick shout out to our Patreon, because our patrons, because we made a reference that we said by the end of 2020, my goal was to get 200 people to sign up to our Patreon, and the first month of 2020 isn't even over yet, and we have reached 200 patrons. So shout out to everyone who listens and supports us, because it's fantastic. So
we're 2 away. We're so close.
It's
maybe by the time maybe by the time you listen to this, we'll hit it.
So
but yeah, we just need 2 more, and then we've got a little incentive. If we reach our goal of 205, we're gonna throw a bone to the 205 tier, the Cruiserweight tier.
Yeah, and this will help us, I don't know, moving forward, even do more shows and stuff. So I'm excited.
We put out a show on Thursday. This is Royal Rumble week.
Yes.
We put up a Royal Rumble trivia game with John Way and Mike Murray. This was a hell of a lot of fun.
You created this game.
I made it up. This was from the mind of Davie Portman.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people have been giving really positive feedback. Yes, I know one of the questions is wrong.
Let's just
get over it.
Let's just get over something.
Let's do the WWE thing and just it never happened.
Okay, but you want to know something that did happen?
What?
You look, all we ask is $5 a month for this North American tier, which is like the basic. You get all the shows really. For $5, you can hear John Pollock struggle on a WWE trivia question, uses Ask a Friend, and somehow I am the one he picks. Does it work out for me and him? You have to listen.
You have to listen.
For the rest of my life, I can say I was used as a lifeline from the legendary John Pollock.
But this show was a lot of fun. A lot of people seem to like it. I think going forward, we'll try and do more things like this.
Yeah.
I'm already cooking up something for WrestleMania.
Excellent.
So look forward to more of them.
Yeah.
And we have our Bond review, our first ever Bond review. We're looking at Casino Royale. That will be available tomorrow morning on the Patreon.
Yes. So many shows because of the new one coming out. We decided to start with some of the Daniel Craig ones, and the positive has been, well, it's been positive. The feedback has been positive, rather. So all that stuff, so much stuff. That Rumble game though was so much fun. Listening to John and Way go back and forth for WWE trivia and stuff was crazy. So that was a lot of fun. Again, thank you everyone who supports us and listens to us. Again, this podcast, this free feed is always free. So even if you're just like, hey, I like you, but I just don't really like you that much, that's cool. But thank you for listening to us every Wednesday doing the NXT reviews. After NXT goes off the air, we do go live on our YouTube, and then we take that and make it into the podcast form. We had podcast issues last Wednesday.
Had podcast problems.
Yeah, podcast problems. But we're here. I guess we can get into the meat of this.
Wow, the room is full.
The room is
now.
full.
This
Welcome,
is great.
people.
Hello, everybody. And now, if you're watching, let's go into Worlds Collide 2020.
The worlds are colliding. It's like World War III.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't say that. Touchy subject. Worlds collide. It starts with NXT's newest signee. Are you ready for this? Winston Churchill.
See, Johnny Saint couldn't make it tonight, so
he
was like, he called up his old mate Winston. He was like, "You doing anything?"
Winston Churchill, we shall fight. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight in the field. We shall fight in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. But as they're playing this clip of Winston Churchill, it's over the graphic of Walter, Fabian Eichner, and Marcel Bartel, and Alexander Wolf. That's a little weird to me. I'm not a huge historian, but tell me something a little wrong about it.
It's a hell of a good speech, though.
It is. But they were playing it maybe, I don't know.
Apparently, this is a weird, just side note here.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill re-recorded his famous speech.
Okay.
Apparently, his famous speech wasn't particularly good.
Wow.
And in all the ones we hear are basically re-recording, kind of rewriting history, because people are like, this is like the speech that made the British pull up their socks and be like, oh, let's get ready to fight, and end up winning the war. And apparently the speech originally was, I'm sure historians will completely correct me on the Twitter, but was kind of like the opposite. Like, oh, we're kind of fucked. He didn't really speak too well. And they re-recorded it later after they won.
Wow. That's because in today's world, Twitter doesn't let you edit your tweets.
Yes.
So, I mean, you could either delete it and it's out there, screenshoters, but Damn,
I was
Winston.
going to say it's more like the Monday Night Wars documentary on the network, where it's all like, yeah, and then WCW were doing this shit, and we were doing this. But yeah, rewrite history. I mean, that's what they say. The winners always rewrite the history, don't
Wow.
they? But that's a really weird tangent. But yes, Winston Churchill,
Churchill.
NXT's newest signing.
So then it goes from Winston Churchill into this theme song for the show tonight, which is "I Am the Fury," and I'm like, whoa,
who is this?
I don't know. It kind of sounds like the Botchamania. I am the table.
Yeah.
It just was really aggressive from going from Winston Churchill to I Am the Fury. So our first matchup, again, we mentioned there's a Russian and there's a guy from Ireland, and one guy is representing NXT UK and one guy is representing NXT. North America is in the brackets. Finn Balor versus Ilya Dragunov. So the Russian versus the Irish in this match. This wasn't one of the ones I was most looking forward to, but at the same time, I'm like, okay. I enjoyed Draganov and Cesaro.
I haven't watched a whole lot of Dragunov. I know he's someone that a lot of my friends in the UK rave about from seeing him in the Independents.
Yeah.
I loved his match against Cesaro at, was it Cardiff, I believe? I thought that was fantastic. So was kind of looking forward to see what this match would bring.
Right. Yeah, me too. So Finn Balor, obviously he's like the heel in the storyline in NXT because he's feuding with Johnny and he's going to be wrestling Johnny. And he's been kind of like a dick. So here, the crowd in Houston just loves Finn Balor. He's the good guy in this match because they know who he is. Because this crowd is WWE people, I think, who travel for the Rumble and then just kind of.
I mean, really, it's been said so many times on the show. Not many people watch NXT UK.
Yeah.
And so if you're not like Royal Rumble, you get some traveling in, but it's not the same as WrestleMania where you have so many Brits go to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there are that many people too familiar with NXT UK here, apart from your guys who you've seen on NXT regular, like Moustache Mountain. So really, it was kind of just a cold, like, who are you reaction to him, really.
It was. But he got them in his, I think every person on the card tonight kind of got the crowd behind them, regardless. So there's a brawl between them early on. He tries to sunset flip Finn and gets slapped in the face. He goes for a senton, connects with Draganov. There's this like weird pause where he doesn't know what he's doing to the outside, but then jumps and hits like a bouncing off the bottom rope to the outside, flying crossbody onto Finn. There's a double axe handle attempt to the outside again, but Finn moves out of the way and he just like eats complete shit. He goes in the ring. There's a double knee drop off the top. Somehow he continues to gain the advantage, but goes for a Death Valley driver in the corner, but it's countered into a just beautiful double stomp from Finn Balor. Not quite the cave-in, but his version.
Yeah.
Quite impressive. There's the like backwards kind of Pele type kick countered, but then that's countered into the final cut. The sling blade. There's like a high angle suplex from Draganov where he like, I don't know, old school wrestling. So like behind you, kind of doing a reach around, to be honest. He goes underneath you.
Similar to like the Gotch pile driver, like where you're hooking the leg, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm mocking this move, but it's fucking sick. He comes from behind you like that and then literally brings Finn Balor all the way over him and like suplexes him. Very impressive. But that was I think this guy needs to, I've seen him do it before, but continue doing it. It just looks awesome. Then he goes for the 6-1 line, which I'm sure is a different thing in San Diego. The 6-1 lines. Then there's a crossbody to the outside. He loves them crossbodies. While Finn is getting into the ring, he hits this like coast to coast to the side of the head of Finn Balor. And we notice that the ref has gloves on and there's a little bit of red somewhere. So I'm wondering where
both are busted. Ilya was busted under his eye, like on his cheekbone.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it was maybe the kind of axe handle or crossbody on the outside that clocked Finn.
The crossbody something.
But yeah,
somehow.
Finn's nose was busted here. I don't think it was broken because it was like bleeding on the bridge rather than gushing from the nose.
Yeah, it looked gross. But the coast to coast is only a 2 count. There's a back senton attempt off the top rope, which I believe is his finish. But Finn gets the knees up, hits the shotgun drop kick, the coup de grace, the double stomp off the top, and then he picks him up. And Finn Balor's looking gangster. Picks up the body of Dragunov, hits the 1916 and just kills him. That move is gangster and pins him just like that. He's right before he hits the move, though, he says, "When you come at the prince, you best not miss, and then hits it, just kills him. This move is impressive. This, I think, was a good showing from Dragunov. It was a good heater to start this show. I quite enjoyed it. And now I'm like, okay, now I'm even more hyped in a weird way for Johnny Finn than I even was. And this doesn't even involve Johnny.
This was underwhelming for me.
Underwhelming, but Dragunov to me is green. He seems like a young green.
I didn't really like this match.
Okay.
I thought it started off kind of slow, a little sloppy from both of them at points.
I agree with that.
And then the double stomp from Finn was where it really started to pick up. I don't know how you do that move without hurting the guy.
Double stomp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks crazy. It started to pick up. There was then the overhead kick or the Pele kick, whatever you want to call it, that Dragunov caught. I thought was really cool. And it started to really pick up. Then you had the German suplex you talked about. The coast to coast was cool. And then it was the end of the match. And I was expecting a lot because I've heard a lot of good things about Dragunov. And Finn, I feel, to me, still has to prove something. He's I like his new change in character.
Yeah.
But I still haven't seen that blow away match from him.
Yeah, I think
really at all since he debuted in WWE. There hasn't. He's had good performances, but there hasn't been that
standout match.
You look at if you're going back.
People
in
would
history,
disagree with you though with the AJ one. People really liked that one.
Sure.
Oh, there was a Seth rematch years later, like recently.
There's been nothing where I've been. I think Nakamura, take for instance, he hasn't lived up to the hype. But nothing can take away from that night in Dallas he had with Sami Zayn.
Exactly.
Like that match is still crazy. And I'm looking at Finn coming back into NXT and you go, wow, there's good guys here now that you can really kill it with.
Yeah.
And he's got to prove it against Johnny Gargano for me, which should happen because Gargano's the GOAT. I was just expecting a bit more here. I thought Ilya would show him, like really impress me a bit more. I'm kind of not bothered. And Finn was just like Finn. Sure, he looks cool and the 1916's great.
I think this Dragunov, like he's good. I just think I agree. He was like sloppy in some things. It was very green to me.
And this to me, I'm kind of looking at as a takeover, and I expect like 4+ star matches for every match.
This one reminded me of a WWE
when
match.
You got this would have been fine on NXT TV Wednesday night USA. This would have been fine. Heat up Finn. Give a bit of shine to another guy.
Right.
But this shouldn't be on a pay-per-view.
Sure.
For me.
What would have you have booked instead of this match?
Either maybe not book Finn. Like you've got his match in Portland coming up.
Yeah, true.
Why is the NXT UK Women's Champion on the pre? Why are the
NXT champion?
Why are the NXT UK Tag Team Champions not on the show at all? Like we laugh about Gallus, but really, if this is Worlds Collide, shouldn't you have?
This was a Gallus free show.
In theory, your champions are the best people you've got.
Yeah.
So why are they not on the card? I don't know what I'd have had instead.
I liked it, but
no, I do know what I'd have instead. I'd have had the Dusty Classic final here.
Yeah.
Open the show with that. Sure, you can have 2 tags.
This wasn't my least favorite match of the night. But
no, me neither. But
only a few.
It was underwhelming.
I don't disagree with you there because I haven't seen much of this Dragunov, and to me he's just like a new person here. So maybe he'll continue to get better. Maybe this was what helps him. I can see some potential. After the match, they cut to the crowd, and here we have the team of Zach Gibson and James Drake, the grizzled young veterans. And they are being interviewed because they are in the Dusty Classic finals this Wednesday on NXT. And Zach Gibson, of course, is wants to talk some shit instantly. I'm like, yeah, please give him a mic because he's awesome. But to the left of them, or right of them rather, there are the other team in the finals this Wednesday, the Cruiserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne. And the crowd is crazy. The crowd instantly is more hot for this than in the last entire match, which I found very interesting. Like as soon as it cut to both Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, this crowd just went electric. They say that there's breaking news revolving the finals next Wednesday. The winner of that match, the finals of the Dusty Cup, will go on to take over Portland to fight for the NXT Tag Team Championships. So
I think we kind of assumed that would happen, but it's been announced now.
They get the cup and they get the shot of the titles. So Zach Gibson grabs a microphone and says, "Oh, don't," and he instantly gets booed. By the way, it was easy for people to just boo this guy. He's booable.
I love how that has translated, has crossed over, that people know they should do that.
You should just boo this guy, and it's over. And I love his reactions, like, fuck
but
off.
It's more than just like, it's more than someone says a line like, "This is the city," and it's boo.
I must be from Houston.
It's the "I don't want to hear you speak" booing. It's the Roman after beating Undertaker on Raw booing. Like, no, which is great. I love it. Zach Gibson's awesome.
I was expecting to be like, what are you booing me for? You're a bunch of cheaters.
What, him to turn Irish?
to Houston tonight.
All right.
Sorry, anyone from Houston. I know that probably hurts. I still don't quite understand it, but wow. Houston, what the fuck? Zach Gibson says, "I'm not taking anything away from Matt Riddle or Pete Dunne. You both are huge single stars. You're awesome. But as a tag team, you don't have a resume. You're nothing. You're not a good tag team. He basically says you ain't shit towards us." And James is like, yeah, you got it. Yeah, continue on. James doesn't ever talk.
I love that gimmick that he either mouths along.
Yeah, he's mouthing along.
When he goes to speak, someone else interrupts, or he just, "No, Zach, you got this.
You got this. You got this." So Matt Riddle has a microphone now, and he goes, "Bruh." He says, "Why so serious? We just heard some great news that the winners get a tag title shot, and you're all up and about." He says, "Look, I'm here with my bro from another Mo, who's got a smile from ear to ear." And then the camera zooms in on Pete, and if you know, Pete Dunne is
just
not
scowling.
not smiling at all. I thought this was so fucking funny. He says, "Let's hear from Pete." So Pete says, "Look, I'm gonna be blunt." So Matt Riddle goes, what was that? Sorry. And the whole crowd kind of seems to catch on. He goes, "Next Wednesday, Matt Riddle is gonna smoke the two of you." And they have a stare down, and the tag team finals, the Dusty Classic, will be this Wednesday night. I thought this was really funny and a good way to prolong the hype.
This team is working so much for me.
Instantly. Hottest thing.
I'm looking at the chat room right now
Yeah.
on the YouTube, and Hansi said that he loves the Grizzled Young Vets, which I do too.
Me too.
And he hopes they win because we've had a lot of like makeshift teams win this. But I don't want to see these guys as a kind of one and done thing. I think they're not doing anything in singles right now.
Yep.
So I think they've got longevity here. You could have a 6-month run with these two.
Yeah. I would go with these two as a tag team for sure right now.
I think so.
This is very entertaining. It's the odd couple. It makes total sense.
I kind of kicked myself at not thinking, oh, that would work beforehand. Do you know what I mean? Because when they were announced as a pair, you're like, really?
You're like,
those two?
Weird.
And you see it, and it works so well.
Yeah, it's really good. I love it.
The presentation here was quite AEW for me.
Interviewing the two.
Well, it was the people being front row.
Right.
I know NXT has like the hot new signees front row, but this is what we've seen is in AEW a lot, like the tag champions watching on from front row for a number one contenders match and then being interviewed after or stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I just haven't ever seen this presentation in WWE with the interviews ringside.
Yeah, that's true. You usually see it backstage or whatever.
Yeah.
Our next match is just bonkers. The rest of this show is crazy. Awesome show, but we go to the new Cruiserweight Championship, the new and improved. They've gotten rid of the purple strap. It looks like kind of the WWE IC title that they've got now, but it's got like purple tints through it or something.
Yeah, it's got flashes of like purple and blue.
Yeah.
The NXT symbols on it now. I think this looks great.
Yes.
Well, just such an improvement. I don't want titles to look like a toy. This at least looks a bit more legit. Yeah, I think.
For Christmas, I thought about getting you the purple Cruiserweight
title. Oh, really?
Because I know you hate it so much. It'd be great.
Is that an incentive to stay below 205
pounds?
No. I've been pushing it. I've been pushing it recently. I've weighed myself, and I'm I'm in the overs category in X Factor now, and I'm almost out of the Cruiserweight division. I need some changes in my life.
Wow, those New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Damn. Are you fit? You're looking pretty good in your Johnny Rebel Heart t-shirt.
It's rather tight. I need to lose weight. It doesn't help. I shrink everything. That's my story. I shrink stuff.
Sure. I think Scrump, a friend of the show,
Yeah.
said it best. Those WWE shirts be thick.
This one's actually like feel it. It's
You
better.
made me feel
It's
your
not the
shirt.
cardboard
Oh, yeah,
material
you're right.
that WWE normally
You know
do.
why? It's
Because
NXT.
Gargano knows.
It's
yeah.
NXT. It's not
Completely.
WWE. Yeah. Wow, we just sold the shirt to someone. Oh, you can buy our shirts, by the way.
Yeah.
ProWrestlingTees.com/upNXT if you ever want.
I haven't plugged that for a while.
Yeah, we haven't. It's
Buy
been
us a
like
shirt.
months.
Buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt if you ever want to rock it. Because I see them when we watch some NXT events, including the NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2.
Exactly.
There was a guy in the shirt. So shout
Chris
out
Price.
that guy.
He's in the chat
Chris
room
Price.
right now.
Hello, good sir. Hey, man, you wore a shirt to an NXT show. That is awesome. So I appreciate you. Well, let's go into this Cruiserweight Championship match. The Fatal 4-Way. It's 2 competitors from NXT and 2 competitors from NXT UK, and the champion Angel Garza debuting this new title, coming down to the ring with his side plates. I didn't notice that it had his logo with his there's a halo and a little devil's tail, which I have the Tokyo Pimps shirt, and it has that on it as well. Thing. Yeah, I love me devils and angels. Garza is going to defend against Isaiah Swerve Scott, and then from NXT UK, Jordan Devlin and Travis Banks. So already this match sounds like it's going to be insane. And let me tell you, this match is insane. Holy, I wasn't ready for this. I don't think I was. I was like, this is going to be like some 205 stuff. But I think it was just a little bit beyond that.
I think this is a bigger stage than 205 have had.
Yeah.
Because, 205 guys have been on pay-per-views before, but I think they've kind of known their slot is they're one match in 13 plus matches on a pay-per-view.
No one cares.
They kind of know that it's the toilet break, and the people that are sat around don't know who they are.
Sure.
This is a 5-match card with Garza being quite prominent on TV recently for NXT UK. For NXT regular.
Yeah.
So this is the biggest slot I think that the Cruiserweights have ever had, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
And you've got guys like Jordan Devlin and Travis Banks, and actually all 4 of these guys haven't had an arena WWE match like this.
Yeah. I thought this was great. I'm a huge fan of Jordan Devlin. I can't say that enough on any of the shows we do. All the matches he's put on in the past year or two, just fantastic. I'm not even talking about his match at NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2. Wow, I'm getting good at that. His match with Tyler Bate was fantastic, like match of the year candidate already. But his stuff like with David Starr and Walter, holy shit,
the OTT stuff.
Yeah, this guy can go. And I know you're a big fan of Travis Banks, and we're both big fans of Swerve and Garza. All 4 of these guys, we were discussing this. Like, oh, you know what? It could go literally either way.
You could see it. I think Swerve was maybe the least likely one for me.
No, Swerve, I think, to a lot of regular NXT listeners going by Twitter this week. Oh yeah, everyone was everyone I was talking to was like, yo,
because I was going, you either have Garza retain because he hasn't had the title long and he's a good character, or you ship it over to NXT UK for a bit. So in my eyes, he was the one I thought the least.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
with the Cruiserweight Championship. So Garza's known for ripping off his pants, right? Which you love, which a lot of people love, especially the ladies, because he's engaged now though. So back off.
Keep them on, boy.
Yeah. But yeah, he's engaged. Why is he around taking his pants off? That's going to cause problems in their marriage. Marriage story, bro. Marriage story. He goes to take the pants off, and all 3 of the other guys are like, nah, fuck you, keeping your pants on. And they super kick him out of the ring. There's a crazy roll through flatliner, a drop kick to the face. There's like all these crazy Uranagi double team. Devlin Uranagi's one guy onto another guy while he's doing the move too, doing another move.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's like, what is even happening? They mentioned that Isaiah Scott was in the Army, and it made me think back to, I don't know, maybe the 10 minutes of SmackDown you made me watch, and all I got to see was Lacey Evans talking about how she was in the Army and has a kid, and I thought that was one of the worst shit I've ever seen in wrestling. What? How does that?
It was an X Factor sob story.
It's like, hi, this is X Factor, American Idol.
Yeah.
So are you a good singer? We'll see. But what's your story? I was in the Army and I have a kid and I need this. Okay, let's hear you sing then.
The line that always gets me is when they go, I just want to make my family proud. And you go, So what if you go in there and you come third in this singing contest? Your family are gonna go, you know what? Fuck you, Sheila. Like, you failed. I am not proud of you anymore.
Wow.
It's everyone said, I just want to make my family proud. No, you fucking don't. You want to sing on the telly.
So you're saying I'm sure Lacey Evans.
Lacey Evans doesn't want anyone proud.
No.
She just wants to be on telly and wrestle.
I don't know about the wrestling part. I'm just like, I actually kind of like Lacey Evans, but that was fucking bad. This is how you get. Just tell me, the guy was in the army. He knows how to He knows how to go. Is what.
Yeah.
By the way, no Morrow tonight because the commentary team.
He's calling the boxing.
Yeah,
tonight,
Showtime. Yeah. I think. So it's Tom Phillips and Nigel McGuinness, and Tom Phillips is awesome. He's like, oh, he knows what to do here to survive this thing here, and he brings it in swimming smoothly.
I really like him because I feel he navigates having that kind of WWE Michael Cole kind of sound,
way better.
Yeah, he managed to like throw to his like not co-host, commentary team a lot. Has a lot of knowledge and information. Knows the moves. Knows what he's calling. I think he's great.
Yeah, I think Tom Phillips is great, and he was fantastic on this show. He's mentioning that there's a crazy like flip where Swerve literally swerves and flips backwards into the outside, lands on his feet, and then hits like a crazy like attitude adjustment essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was a John Cena style.
He's going, John Cena ain't watching this.
Yeah. He ain't gonna watch. It's cool. He's gonna get the call though. John, what if John shows up tomorrow? There's so many crazy things in this. Garza does like a crazy flip to the outside. There's a double stomp. Travis Banks is in the ring now. He is on fire. He's hitting roundhouse kicks everywhere. There's a snap German suplex, a cannonball in the corner, then a suicide dive into Devlin on the outside, then back in the ring and throws him to cannonball the other two who are already cannonballed. Just crazy. But it's not enough. There's then this crazy tornado DDT flying into the ring from Jordan Devlin.
Yeah, it was kind of like, is it silly string, the private party do, where you kind of roll over onto the guy onto the apron and flip back.
Yeah.
And he did that and flipped it into a tornado DDT.
Just crazy.
Looked wicked.
Yeah, this was insane. I jumped out of my seat. But Travis Banks is like, none of that shit, and hits this insane double stomp to the face of Jordan Devlin, literally to the side of his head.
Pretty much, yeah.
They did not show a replay of this, and I really think they should have, because Jordan Devlin looks like his jaw just could have got jacked there. It's just crushing to the side. Looked awesome, but somehow Jordan Devlin is still in this. There's high knees, and then that crazy spot with all four guys doing this like power bomb, power slam, four-way stomp off the top. Just crazy, like a Tower of Doom, but way cooler. Like Tower of Doom spots overdone, but this was a creative take on it.
So yeah, who was it? Garza had Swerve in a power slam. No, had Devlin in a power slam and Banks in a power bomb, and Swerve jumps off with a double stomp
and hits a double stomp off the top as highest guy.
Banks onto the highest
and
guy.
Then everyone falls down. Just crazy. It was like Jenga. Then there's a nasty headbutt from Jordan Devlin. Don't know how he does this one, where he looks like he smacks you in the head, but it's like the slapping noise is so loud. So impressive how he does it. And then he goes for the devil inside, which is his like pull you back, hit you with the high angle like back suplex. So as he goes to do this on Travis Banks, he pulls him back, slings him in the air. Travis Banks in midair counters this move into a Canadian destroyer. Holy shit. Jordan sells it like he's dead. Travis Banks is hitting some sort of double Spanish fly. It's Devlin who somehow manages to kick out of the destroyer.
Yeah.
Somehow managed to fight back and hits a double Spanish fly. But then Travis kicks out of that.
It's from the top, isn't it? And
crazy.
His leg buckles, but he still hits it. It was a little sloppy, but
it
awesome. Still hit.
It worked, yeah. But that leads him to get up to his feet, turns around, and Travis hits him with the Kiwi Crusher, and it's only a 2 count. This is this dude's finisher. And this was like crazy. I think we both bit on this being kind of the finish here. I couldn't believe it. But then there's like this other double team move, which is like an electric chair that's countered into a drop kick off the top, then countered into a reverse Rana. Just insane. Angel Garza is in the ring and hits the wing clipper on, I think, Travis.
It was
Banks.
on Swerve.
It was on Swerve. He hits the wing clipper on Swerve. Devlin comes in, hits the headbutt on Garza, then hits the devil inside, and Jordan Devlin pins Isaiah Swerve Scott and wins the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Wow, this was crazy from start to finish. There was just so much action. Like I skipped over so many things.
Just watch this. Go back and watch this.
Yeah, this was crazy. Jordan Devlin again, one of my favorites, and that sequence at the end there was just crazy.
This match was great because I feel it went from just being. I think we expected something really good here.
Yeah.
There's only so much emotional investment I can get in 4-ways.
Yeah.
Triple threats, you can still have like a bit of story between the 3 people. When there's 4, it becomes very much like just 4 guys, all hit your spots.
Yeah.
I'm glad they would tease stuff like the Tower of Doom, but they do something more creative.
Yes.
Because I think they must have listened to us because we go, oh, and now it's the Tower of Doom spot. It was cool 10 years ago when I first saw that, and now it seems to be every multi-man match. And recently, there was a tag we watched recently, I feel, or a women's match or something where they didn't do that. And I like the creativity here.
They were all creative guys.
They were all so creative here. I love how you thought they were going to do the thing with Garza where someone hits their finisher, he ran in and chucks him out, hits his move, but didn't get the pin.
Right.
And I also loved when Devlin is pinning, is it Swerve? Yeah, he's pinning Swerve. It's 1, 2, 3 as Garza's diving across to break it up.
Yeah.
So he broke up the pin, but just after the 3 count.
It was too late.
And it's things like that make it like more like this frantic dash.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this match. I thought all 4 were just on top of their game. I didn't see like nerves in the way or apart there was a little stumble on that Spanish Fly, but even there it's believable because you guys are all killing each other.
Yep.
The Canadian Destroyer from Banks
out of nowhere, really out of nowhere,
was awesome
because that move is awesome. The devil inside, whatever you call it, Devlin inside, the devil inside.
Yeah,
that move is nasty.
Now, what would you do with the title now? Do you keep that on NXT UK as a secondary title?
He could go back and forth.
Or do you have him come back and forth?
Yeah, do back and forth. Definitely. I will say it again. I need to see him on Wednesday nights, and I don't really watch NXT UK. Maybe I should now to see kind of. I think this is a good move because they've heard everyone talk shit about NXT UK, and they're going to change that around. They have their better TV deals, right? Coming or changing. So
UK,
so over there it's going to be a bigger thing than it is. They're going to listen to you. Do they not have Jim Smallman being involved? Yeah. So I think it's going to change, and this is the gears here to kind of change that to make you go, look, these guys are good and you should be watching them.
I think you should keep it there for a while. I mean, most of the guys in NXT UK anyway are under 205.
Sure.
NXT regular already has a secondary title, so it doesn't really need the third one.
Mm-hmm.
But every now and then on TV, have Devlin come over, and the more he wins on NXT TV defending that title, the more people might be inclined to watch NXT UK.
For sure, definitely. I think he's fantastic. And then he cuts a promo. He gets up on the announce table with the title, and he says, "I fucking told ya." Yeah. I fucking told ya.
It's going, did you? Like, none of you watch me versus David Starr. It's free on YouTube. I told you I'm fucking good. Now go and watch that match. Essentially,
he's like, I don't know what you I don't know how to tell you I'm fucking good. He says that I've won this thing now, and my favorite line in wrestling, it's hard to have your really cool end off line that and I think he has the best one, and that's never bet against an ace because he is the Irish ace. So his gear, by the way, had. The font in his gear was cut out cards like ace cards. It was awesome. So Devlin wins the Cruiserweight title. This match was crazy. Check it out. And then they didn't give us any time to breathe. They were like, cool, you really like that? Well, you're going to love this.
Yeah.
The next match did not give you a chance to quickly run to do anything because this card moved really quickly, I found. It's the dream match, the tag team dream match in NXT. If NXT is literally like a video game or a movie universe that all these NXT characters and people are separated in different brands and stuff, this truly is the one match I think that you're like, okay, this is the clashing of the brands here between what are they, the pillars,
It
the
was
founding fathers
the founding fathers
of NXT
of
UK,
NXT and NXT UK.
Moustache Mountain, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate. And then Tom Phillips is like, hey, Nigel, you want to talk about founding fathers? Let's talk about DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, because they are the founding fathers of NXT in America. He's getting mad. He's like, fuck yeah, America.
America, fuck yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, like it. They are. I agree with that statement.
This video package, they said, what was it? DIY are the heart and Mustache Mountain are the pride. And it just took me back to what was it? It was Cedric Alexander versus Ali at WrestleMania in a pre-show for the Cruiserweight title. And they were going, it's the heart of 205 versus the soul of 205.
Oh.
And they started the match with one of them looking at the other going, heart! And the other went, soul! It was terrible.
Wow.
I kind of hope they did that.
I missed that match. We were tailgating.
You weren't even at that one.
Oh, that was a different one? Oh, okay. Yeah.
You were probably still tailgating, but
tailgating in my house. Yeah, probably. So this is a dream match, in my opinion. I love both of these teams. I love all four of these guys. I think my body wasn't ready for this. DIY, Mustache Mountain, Worlds Collide. Johnny and Tyler start the match off, and I think this is a dream match of some sorts to some people. A one-on-one between Johnny Gargano and Tyler Bate. Take my money. This will be a match down the line. I'm sure of it. But Johnny and Tyler, they go toe for toe, and they're doing like crazy exchanges. They kind of know each other's moves because they've watched each other, and they get to a spot where Johnny has his foot, or Tyler has his foot caught, and then he lets Johnny's foot go, and they shake hands.
Yeah, it was beautiful chain wrestling to start with. We see this in a lot of Johnny's big matches.
Yes.
The beginning of the Andrade match, which I've watched once or twice, and the Adam Cole, the 2 out 3 falls one, the first match. He starts like this, and he's so good at it. And when he has an opponent who's as good as at it, like Tyler Bate, just super impressive. And then, carry on.
Well, Tyler Bate was doing the same things.
For sure,
it's awesome. Yeah. This is a match I need to see more of. So there's a big like handshake. It's sportsmanship. And then we get the crowd. The crowd is crazy for DIY, by the way. Like they are totally into see. You would, if you just watched this not knowing any of these people, you would think DIY are the biggest shit in wrestling, which they could, very well could be to you. They are to me. When they wrestle, I gotta watch.
Yeah,
and it's cool that they're back together, just in the nick of time to make this match happen. So now Ciampa and Seven, they're in. They square off and they start doing like a pose off. But as Trent hypes it up, he reveals that he's not doing a body competition with Tommaso Ciampa. Because he's flexing.
Yeah, he sets up to flex, and then he's like, "Nah, you win," and shakes his hand.
So they're now. It's Ciampa and Bate. They do a test of strength, and Ciampa makes fun of Tyler Bate's height, saying like, "Oh, you can't reach my hands up here." But he finally does it, and then he's making Ciampa like beg for mercy. He's using the test of strength, but you ever play Mercy? He's going and Johnny on the apron is like, Hulk up, man, Hulk up. They do a double bridge. It's awesome. He goes for the bop bang, but it's blocked, and he just hits a high knee to Tyler's face. They then both DIYs. There's a super kick off the apron from Gargano to Seven. Both Ciampa and Gargano take Trent, take Tyler, and hoof them into the announce tables, like into the people, and they both sit on the apron there. And Ciampa does his classic like clap
pat on the
back and clap, and then Gargano looks at him, sits next to him, and then they both do it simultaneously. Huge pop.
And then Ciampa also does the hugging of Gargano's head that they did at the end of their Cruiserweight Classic match. Yeah. They did it again at the end of a lot of their early their DIY tag matches when they were huge.
This was quite awesome to see them kind of do their
callbacks. Yeah.
This was awesome. So they are now beating up Mustache Mountain. They get back into the ring. And there's like a chop. Trent Seven just starts chopping the shit out of Johnny wrestling.
Right before this, someone from the crowd was like, Trent, are you going to do something? And then he's like, yeah, okay. And just lays in these thick chops.
He heard this guy and just chops Johnny's chest. Just looks like it's super red. But this doesn't stop him. Johnny hits a suicide dive onto Bate. There's this spot where both members of DIY look at each other, have both members of Mustache Mountain dangling on like the one's in the ring and one's on the ropes. So as Johnny Gargano does his slingshot DDT, there's Ciampa on the other side hitting the Widow's Bell DDT, assisted rope DDT at the same time, looking awesome. Johnny then comes off the apron. It's only a 2 count though, those DDTs. Johnny comes off the apron, but it looks like Trent like blocks it, but they both kind of fall back on the outside. Bate gets a knee to the back of the head. Then he just like dies. But there's a Tyler driver, but Ciampa kicks out of it. There's then just crazy exchanges from everyone in this match is going full, all guns blazing. There's an exploder from Tyler Bate, and then the standing star press to Johnny, but Johnny gets the knees up and he just face first into these knees.
I think Tom calls it as, the knees to the chest. It's like, no, this was his face. He just shooting starred his face into knees.
Shooting star press, like the standing star press, as Bate like runs and does it, gets so much speed and height to do it, and just eats these knees. Looks awesome. But then Gargano goes back in and goes for like he gets the Liger kick, but then fights back, and Johnny does his classic like runs behind you, does the head scissors, tilt-a-whirl, satellite, whatever you want to call it, and then locks you into the Gargano escape. So as Gargano goes for that and starts spinning and satelliting around Tyler Bate, Tyler counters the crazy spinning motion into the airplane spin and starts to spin Johnny Gargano all around and around and around. But Gargano then counters the spinning part of that, locks in, drops him to the floor, locks in the Gargano escape. And while that's happening, Trent's going to go in there to try to break that up, but Ciampa tackles him to the ground and then locks in his arm bar, his like pull over the arm, the crowbar type arm bar. So both members of Mustache Mountain, this is giving me all the feels back to so many of their final victory with the tag titles.
Well, they even did the revival spot. You saw Bate and Seven reaching for each other's arms and to grab it, but both Gargano and Ciampa kind of stomp away at their hands to block that. Yeah.
Oh, this was emotional. This is storytelling. This was awesome. Somehow, some way, Mustache Mountain both break out of the holds. They did not tap out, so it's the match is still continuing, just magical. But this then, after getting up to their feet, both Trent and Bate get Ciampa and Gargano up on their shoulders, and they do multiple airplane spins at the same time, both rocking around the ring like in a clockwork.
Tyler Bate's spinning around and Seven's there with Ciampa on his shoulders.
Yeah, maybe it should have been the other way around.
Him.
Yeah, I don't know how many spins Trent got. Someone count all the spins Tyler Bate does, and then someone count all the spins that Trent Seven does. But it looked awesome, looked cool. Bate accidentally hits a lariat on Trent, which then Trent now it has to come back and trying to save Bate from DIY, but it's not happening. But then DIY go to hit their pose, their classic DIY prayer hands up, and they're gonna hit the super kick knee combo that they go, but it's blocked to double bop bangs. Looks crazy. I bid on that whole spot there. Then not the burning hammer, the Birmingham hammer and the knee combo on Ciampa, but Ciampa kicks out. Holy,
I bit here too. I thought this was it.
Everyone in this arena was going crazy for this kick out. I couldn't believe it. But then they've had enough. They lift him up again and hit this double Birmingham hammer. But then Bate is up and goes for like the spiral tap, which is like a crazy flying spinning
corkscrew thing. Corkscrew senton kind of
corkscrew flippy shit.
Yeah,
lucha stuff.
Looks great.
Lucha things. But as he's going for that, Trent is holding Ciampa down. Ciampa in the last second pulls Trent over so that the move actually kind of hits more so on Trent, less on Ciampa, and he's pinning Trent while Bate doesn't realize it. But quickly, right in the last second, like a 2.999 count, Bate realizes what he has done and breaks up the pin there. Now all four in the ring again, crazy exchanges. They're hitting their signature moves. They're not pulling any punches here. And there's a spot where Bate is slingshotting into the ring for like a crossbody onto Gargano, but both of them, Ciampa and Gargano, hit the knee and super kick in midair, sending Bate crashing to the outside. Then they turn their attention to Trent 7, who's in the middle of the ring. Both DIY members go to each side. They do the pose, and then they hit the DIY, the double super kicks.
Meet me in the middle.
Meet me in the middle. Isn't that a song?
Terrible song. I hate that song.
What is that song? Baby, why don't you just meet me in the middle? Oh, yeah,
I'm
you
in the
actually
middle, just for the middle, baby.
Middle.
Whatever. Fucking terrible song.
DIY.
I don't even know if it's Meghan Trainor, but I feel like it's Meghan Trainor
It's
because
definitely-
she does that kind of shit.
It's not,
Anyway.
Wow. We got sidetracked on that.
Yeah, anyway, great. This is a good match.
Yeah, this was crazy. They pinned Trent Seven off the Meet Me in the Middle.
Yeah.
Meet Me in the Middle from DIY. Sometimes, kids, you just have to do it yourself. So, awesome match. Fantastic match. This delivered on everything I thought it would be. I think I could have watched them wrestle for 5 more hours.
Yeah, this match was great. For the first, 7 minutes, I was kind of disappointed. I was enjoying it, but I was like, oh, they're just doing an exhibition style match, like
Sure.
a fun house show main event. And then it picked up and DIY became the heels essentially at one
But
point.
they're getting cheered.
They started being a bit nastier and throwing him into the tables and shit.
Ciampa is a nasty guy, right?
And that's when it really picked up. Oh, got to say as well, DIY's gear here, the matching blue camo, looked sweet. Yeah, I loved this match. I thought it was so much fun. Just a real fun match where all 4 guys are so fucking good.
There was no build to this match.
No build. And looking at the chat room right now, I know MJ has said this match could potentially be a top 5, but without the stakes, there's only so much you can emotionally get invested. Imagine doing these 2 in a heated rivalry for tag titles or whatever.
Yeah.
You would love to see, because all of these guys can kill it.
I would like to see a rematch down the line. I would like to see a Bate versus Gargano down the line. I want to see them fight off again. But this was fantastic. I agree with what MJ has said, because I think this could be a lot of people's pick for some of the best stuff they've seen this year. I know it's only still January, but holy, this was amazing.
Was this your match of the night?
I think this, I don't know. I'm really torn. I think there's a really strong argument for the 3 main matches for individual, what people could have liked. I really like the Cruiserweight title match, and I wasn't expecting it, maybe because I had least expectations for it. But I knew this tag team match was going to be good.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. When they were doing the pose off, I was like, oh, what's going on here? What's happening? But I think that was their way to kind of cool us down and then bring us back up again. I don't know. They did it. And it was, I used the word earlier, magical. And I thought, maybe, you know what, maybe this is right. But then there's a main event that, maybe has its missteps. But considering the missteps, we'll get there. That too is in itself is very impressive. So I really don't know.
For me, it's between this and the Cruiserweight match.
Yeah, sure. This could be a lot of people's match of the year.
Yeah, this was great. I'd love to see it again down the line, and I'd love to see the combinations of the 4 down the line as well.
This show is called Worlds Collide, and this is the only match where I actually felt like the worlds were colliding.
Yeah,
because we got the team that's hot in the UK. They were the talk of the town, and they're still hot over there, whatever. And then you had Johnny and Ciampa and their story here. So it was cool to kind of see that come together, and they delivered. Yeah, I would probably say this is my match of the night, but there's arguments for all of them. But holy shit. And to see DIY, I think you were at that takeover where they won the 2 or 3. Come on. I
saw both. Yeah, I've been at both their revival matches.
Yeah. So it's like you only just got a tear in their eye when they're doing that arm bar thing.
Yeah.
Because we've seen them fight. You know what? You were saying that Ciampa was going to turn on him in this match.
Oh, I was joking about that. I did think there's an argument for Bate turning on 7.
Oh,
though.
Wow.
I think they should do it down the line.
Damn, I don't want to see that.
Do you not?
I don't know. Maybe. I think Bate's too.
I think NXT UK need a story that's going to drive people onto it, and I think a 7 Bate breakup thing could be that.
You mean you don't want to see Walter Dragunov? The guy who lost to Finn Balor in the opening match tonight? Is that the direction they're going in?
It seems like that's the direction.
That's a strange thing.
NXT UK is a strange show,
but it's going to change. I have high hopes for it. In 2020, it's going to be it's going to turn around.
The bell of the ball.
Yeah, it's going to be hot shit. That match was hot shit. Go check out. If you're one of the people who kind of just listen to some of them, I recommend DIY and Mustache Mountain. That was so much fun. That's what I sound like Tom Phillips being fed the line in his earpiece, but that's what NXT is all about. But yeah, it is. I like this show because the wrestling.
Yeah.
And they delivered with this.
We just glossed over just before this match. We saw Keith Lee and Mia Yim front row.
Right.
Lee showing off his brand new North American title, and it transitioned from Undisputed Era training backstage to Lee with the title.
Gotcha.
And Robert Stone and Chelsea Green took their place in front row as well.
Everyone's in the front row because after the DIY match, here is Mercedes Martinez, the recently signed. We saw her in the Battle Royal. That was a cool showing, and I'm interested in seeing what they do with her. Rather, if it's more on air, like more wrestling matches or behind the scenes kind of stuff. But I'm happy to see where it goes. I'm so happy that she signed to WWE. And then we have someone else in the crowd here. It's Dakota Kai. I mean, I'd be remiss to not talk about something on this show here. So I'm going to quickly say Io Shirai has suffered an injury last Wednesday night on NXT, and she's tweeted that she's out of action. She's got a knee brace.
All she's tweeted is that knee brace.
So
we don't have too much information.
A lot of people, some people were tweeting us on after Wednesday night saying that it looked like she was injured in that match. So I hope she's okay. I send all my love out to Io Shirai. You still get me high, Io Shirai. But as for right now, at this NXT Worlds Collide, Dakota Kai also gets me high.
My oh my, Dakota Kai.
And before she could do anything, she's instantly attacked by Tegan Knox. So there's a brawl. They're fighting in the crowd. It's chaos. They have security pulling each other off. They hate each other. They hate each other. And they will face this Wednesday night on NXT. So I thought this was a good idea. Like, realistically, if you know, hey, Dakota Kai is being brought out for like that one shot in the crowd there, you would attack her. You know where she's going to be. So go after her. So it's fine. What did you think of that?
It was fine.
It's a build to.
It was
Wednesday.
fine. It was a build.
I have no problems with them pushing Wednesday nights.
I feel with the angle being shot here, I kind of feel maybe it is going to be bumped onto the.
I think it should be
takeover.
Yeah, I think it should be. So the next match is maybe controversial talk in the world of wrestling. To myself, not really, because the next, I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter. They're saying some things like this is a direction they're going to here. The Becky Lynch comments that now have transformed maybe into the world of NXT because Rhea Ripley comes out and it no longer says NXT Women's Champion. It just says NXT Champion.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that doesn't make me upset.
No, it doesn't make me upset.
Yeah.
The way I see it is where we are now, I think you should either have like just 2 NXT champions.
Right.
One male, one female.
Because people
or have an NXT men's championship and NXT women's championship.
So would you be okay with it being called the NXT men's champion?
Yeah, because I think it makes the other one always seem less when you have the NXT champion and then the NXT women's. Like, you've got to specify.
Right.
I don't care either way. I don't get why people are getting so worked up about it.
Yeah.
Like, really, does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
You know it's women competing for it. Like, why?
The titles are a prop. Is that Vince Russo said that?
Yeah.
The titles are a prop.
I don't care either way. I mean, I've been at shows when women's wrestling chants have started, and I've been like, no, this is wrestling. Do you know what I mean? It's
sure.
Why are we?
I don't know. People are cheering that to support that women's
wrestling. They are, but it's still a thing. It's kind of saying women's wrestling is usually shit, but this is good. Women's wrestling, rather than this is just an awesome match. And they've got away from divas and superstars. Everyone's a superstar now.
But
I think a year from now, who cares? Really?
I'm saying this doesn't. I don't care anything. I also wouldn't matter if they also said NXT Men's World Champion and NXT Women's World Champion.
Yeah.
I look at UFC or fighting, boxing. Like, you have heavyweight titles. Like, you know what I mean. So obviously in wrestling, it's spoilers, it's fake, but you don't have to be in the weight classes to win things. So I'm cool with it being like this. When you have a match with Adam Cole in a men's title, you go, he's the NXT men's heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And then you say in the match, like Adam Cole or someone wins the title, you can instantly say, this person just won the NXT title. It's fine.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's like in tennis and things like
Yeah,
that. The
it
men
doesn't
win. It's
matter.
the men's
Cool.
title and the women's title.
I thought we should at least talk about it because I think people, I feel like just
But
maybe.
I see people on Twitter and it's like, fuck off. Like, why are you upset about
It's
this?
a prop.
Like, why are you upset about this?
It's literally a prop. It's literally a prop
Yeah.
in this thing. Let them call it whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, call it whatever.
I think there may be more changes coming within like the names and stuff. Considering I don't know what types, but it's just strange that people would. Yeah, I don't know. So
it's just going for like equality essentially, isn't it?
Sure.
Like, yeah, whatever. Let's move on.
Rhea Ripley, NXT champion.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley. Yeah, get that in your pipe and smoke it. She's gonna be facing Toni Storm, your favorite wrestler. Rhea Ripley's got some crazy contacts, and she's the Nightmare, and she's very scary. I kind of like the new look she's got going on here with like the hair. There's a shot when she's like on the apron in her entrance, and she looks so badass. I have like some mixed feelings about Rhea Ripley. I don't think she's in the ring as good as some of the wrestlers that I do like, but the character and everything she's like becoming and working on like right now, I think she's fantastic, and she's going to keep getting better.
She's so young, like she's younger than you think
crazy.
She is, and she has a presence and this
Exactly.
character. I was surprised they had her come in as a babyface because watching the second Mae Young Classic, she was such a good heel.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I get it when you see Shayna was your champion and you want to move it off of that. I agree. I think her ring work still needs some work. Same with her mic skills, but I'm not mad at her being champion or anything. I think it's the right decision.
Definitely. Well, let's see if she retains the title against Toni Storm. Early in the match, Toni hits these like roundhouse kicks and then an awesome German suplex, sending Rhea backwards into the turnbuckle, bouncing her head off two of the turnbuckles. Toni then locks in the STF, but Rhea manages to get out of that. Toni Storm hits the like Lita style DDT, flipping Rhea all the way over, but only a 2 count. They go up. There's like slaps galore between both of them. There's then the standing cloverleaf submission hold where Rhea Ripley just like ties her arms and lifts her in the air.
This normally looks way cooler because she
didn't
normally
here.
swings them around, whereas realistically, if you haven't tapped in the first 5 seconds, are you going to tap? Does it hurt that much?
Sure.
Like, you look at most like legit submissions, you're tapping right away. No, you're going to break my arm.
Yeah.
Because you're just standing there holding her midair. She's kind of like
dangling,
like holding her neck, kind of trying to reposition her.
She got out of it.
It just looked awkward, I thought.
Well, that she couldn't make her tap out, so she then goes for her next finisher, which is the Riptide. She lifts her up with the pump handle, but it's countered from Toni with a crossbody, then a bridging German suplex from Toni Storm, kind of tilted. And Nigel's like, she didn't get all of it because she kind of went like a little that way. But there's then like a headbutt by Toni Storm. She goes up top for a frog splash, but misses it. Rhea gets up, hits her with the pump handle, drop into the tornado bomb, which she calls the Riptide, and Rhea Ripley retains the NXT championship.
Yeah, I didn't really like this match.
I can't say I did either. I know you make fun of me for being a fan of Toni Storm, but even you have persuaded me that like, hey, she really hasn't like kind of delivered in the sense that we all thought she was going to do from the Mae Young Classic. Maybe because everyone knew there was no chance she's winning this match.
Well, yeah, there's that.
I like.
Secondly, I've seen this match twice about 18 months ago.
I've seen it I've seen it a bunch.
Like this didn't deserve to be there on the card. I didn't think this was very good. There was no flow between them, considering you feel these two should know each other.
Right.
There was zero flow. It just seemed like, let's do this move. Now we're doing this move. Now we're doing this move. I don't like that there are no stories going into any of these matches. And now they're telling me on commentary, oh, they're friends. Really? Because when I was watching the Mae Young Classic and NXT UK for the beginning, like, they weren't friends.
Right.
They've been friends since then. They're like, oh, they've been friends. They're going like, friends.
I don't know. I know because they're both Australian. You're instantly friends. No, they actually were friends for a long time. But you're right. I didn't know.
But
that.
it's like they didn't have the story going into this was as the story we've seen on TV. Hey, I've beaten you twice.
Yeah,
I deserve a title shot. That was the story, and that wasn't really hit on here.
No, I didn't really care.
Yeah, I didn't really think this was very good at all.
Yeah, I wasn't I liked Rhea Ripley beating Shayna for the title. I thought it was a good moment, but the match itself was pretty average. And I remember getting some heat for that on this show because people were like, "Oh, that match was amazing." I'm not saying it wasn't really good. Just for me, Rhea Ripley, there's just a different. You can see the difference between her and some of the other wrestlers.
I think she's going to improve.
I think so too.
I think more Toni. I feel she's been the same for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's really evolved.
Right.
That's why I feel she'll be better on the main roster because the ring work doesn't matter so much. Look at the position Lacey Evans is in at the moment. You could have Toni Storm as the baby face going against Sasha and Bayley.
Yeah.
Right now. NXT, and that's where I want to see really good wrestling. And she's fine. She's not at the top like an Io Shirai.
Yeah.
But she's not near the bottom either. But I just think she's very average. And yeah, didn't like this match. I think you should have just done Katie Ray versus Rhea Ripley. Katie Ray's your women's champion. Yeah. Don't do it non-title. I know it's awkward to book that kind of thing. I don't know. Just this didn't deliver at all.
No, I don't think so either. I kind of really didn't like it. It had some cool moves in it, but really nothing that kind of blew me away or even really got my attention. I agree with you with the flow thing. Something didn't hit. I think that's kind of most Rhea Ripley matches for me. But she's gonna get better. I think I see some improvement coming. At least I hope.
Ripley. Yeah, I hope so. I think so.
So the announcers Tom Phillips and Nigel McGuinness, they tell us that they have to play us something because just a few moments backstage as they were filming something for WWE.com, something happened and take a look. And here is Johnny Gargano being interviewed for .com saying that it was how awesome it was for him to be back with Ciampa and that even his Ciampa's daughter Willow is here and he's got to meet and hang out with her backstage. And Johnny is attacked by Finn Balor. He's attacked. He's beating him in this hallway. There's chairs and everything. He's just beating the shit out of him. And a bunch of the wrestlers come in and break up the attack. He's in there, and Tyler Bate is the guy in the forefront, really stopping Finn from continuing the attack. So there's a bit of a tease there as well, where you could see a Tyler Bate Finn Balor match. I don't know, maybe even this week on TV.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there was more than 2 weeks before Portland, I could see this being a TV match. But I guess you could just keep Tyler in the US until have this on Wednesday.
Please do, because that sounds like money, baby.
Yeah.
So Finn is like, Johnny. He says, I put you in the hospital and I'm gonna put you right back in. So see you in TakeOver Portland. But he's got a trickle of blood going down the bridge of his nose still from that earlier. So poor guy, bleeding. So we now go to the main event.
We should note at the end of the women's match, Bianca Belair was front row, and kind of called out Rhea. She was pointing at her with her hair.
Yeah, it was weird.
Just heating up that match.
It was weird. I mean, that didn't heat up anything for me. But she's pointing her hair at her.
I don't know.
I don't
know what heats up for
you. So we go to the main event of Worlds Collide. The worlds will indeed collide. The Undisputed Era versus Imperium. Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and the newly dethroned North American champ, the former North American champion, Roderick Strong, comes out with a little sallow face.
Roddy had boo-boo face, didn't he?
Boo.
And did you know because he's not champ anymore, they've had to revert back to their old shirt.
They're not the prophecy, draped in gold.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had to. I think that's them being like, let's just be so fucking... Or
you should have had the three of them with their prophecy ones, and then Roddy just in classic.
Fuck.
He should have had the Undisputed Era shirt before he was even in it. That kind of thing.
Oh my god.
Poor Roddy Boo Boo.
Oh, Roddy is sad here.
Sad
the prophecy ended last week with Keith Lee taking the title. So Roderick Strong looking sad. And here out come Imperium, Walter, the NXT UK champion, which now they call that now. You know the title. It's been altered as well. It says, it's been Waltered. It's NXT UK champion, no longer the WWE UK champion.
That's right, yeah.
So many title changes, so many titles. But again, they're all props. So Walter,
they should all just be called the WWE Championship. Really,
I'm the WWE champion.
Every title.
I'm the tag team champion. You're the tag team champions. Wasn't that a thing? So Imperium consists of Walter, Alexander Wolf, Marcel Bartel, and Fabian Eichner. If you're not familiar with these guys, they are indeed awesome. We've seen them in NXT regular for quite a while. Then they were changed over to NXT UK, and they've impressed me a lot. And this is I guess a dream match in some sorts, because it's two factions that have been kind of prominent in the world, in the whole landscape of wrestling in at least the last year. So, and Undisputed Era hot for so many years now.
I would say as well, before this match, the crowd were so into the NXT guys, and the NXT UK guys were getting mediocre. A polite reaction, I'd say.
Walter a lot, but the rest not so
much.
Well,
until this match, I think Imperium, the crowd treated them like a main event act here.
Yeah.
And gave them like the respect and kudos they deserve. Whereas this wasn't showing throughout even that cruiserweight match. Like Angel Garza's pop was huge, and then you have Devlin and Banks come out, and it's kind of mellow.
It was it was less, yeah. So Undisputed Era, Imperium, starting off this match, Kyle O'Reilly and Fabian Eichner, and I was just salivating to watch these guys like try to out wrestle each other, and that's what they did. They start doing leg locks and grabs and chops, and man, Fabian Eichner was lighting up Kyle's chest. He is just red. Bartel gets in, and he's a madman as well. He's doing all sorts of things I didn't know this guy could do.
To me, Marcel Bartel's fantastic. Like
to me, he looks like a guy I'd see on the street, some bloke down the street. But instead, he's doing like back fist, like crazy, some throat chops and crazy shit. I was like, wow.
Go watch some of his work as Axel Dieter Jr. Like he's really fucking good.
He is fast. So then there's a tag where they're working on Alexander Wolf gets tagged in, and I believe it's Kyle and Bobby Fish. They're doing a double kick to a seated Alexander Wolf. And as Bobby Fish goes to do a pin after taking this roundhouse to a seated Alexander Wolf, there's a very scary incident here where Alexander Wolf doesn't really kick out of the spot he was supposed to kick out at. So referee, good old Drake, kind of notices something here and decides to kind of make it look like Alexander Wolf did get his shoulder up, because Alexander Wolf has been knocked out cold from this roundhouse kick from Bobby Fish. Obviously an accident, but very scary to watch here.
This was horrible.
Yeah. They don't instantly, but the camera instantly stays on Fish, not letting you see Alexander Wolf, not letting you see the referee Drake kind of talking to him, discussing. He has put up the X. There's people already coming down, and Bobby Fish is like his color changes.
He looks pale. Yeah,
it's very, very scary. They show the replay.
I'm surprised they actually showed the replay here.
I think it was fair to show the replay. I mean, I want to know. I saw the move, but I didn't expect that to happen. So the replay in slow motion is he's like supposed to be kind of blocking both kicks, but just so slightly misses the spot to block the kick, and it knocks him out. And he's supposed to fall back, and his body goes out, like the lights go out, and he is out, and that is very scary.
It shows how good these guys are, though, that this doesn't happen more often. These kicks nowadays, that the striking these wrestlers have, is ridiculous that this doesn't happen more often. And Bobby Fish he's a veteran, he's a pro.
Right.
Something like this can happen. I think it was Nigel was quite good on commentary as well. He was saying about how Fish was trying for a deeper cover where it makes it even harder for the other guy to escape, but involves having the hand under the shoulder, and the referee caught it, which means the shoulder's not completely on a mat. They're trying to cover the fact that
because
really this should have been a knockout and a pin.
Yeah.
And they're trying to cover it because this is 5 minutes into a 30-minute match.
Right. This was very scary. This was very, very scary. So
it took me out of the match.
Definitely.
Really I came back towards the end,
Yeah.
but really it took the guys out of the match. I think
100%. Again, Bobby Fish, his face is like, oh my god, what have I done? I couldn't imagine being in that. I've seen at a Ring of Honor house show in Toronto. I don't know if it's a house show or it was filmed, where BJ Whitmer took a pile driver on the apron from
Right.
Bennett, and the match had to be stopped.
Yeah.
The ambulance had to drive in, and it was terrifying. It was so scary, and you could see like the guy's face. The guy who did the move feels terrible.
Yeah.
Bobby Fish was right now in this match pale as a ghost.
Anyone who like I'm looking on Twitter and people going, oh, is it a work and Wolf's gonna come back? Dude, look at Fish's face on the apron throughout. He's so concerned. And as of now, we're recording, I'm still looking. There's no word.
Right.
All I keep reading is
you watch that.
He was legit knocked out.
Yeah, that replay where they showed in slow motion, you see him get knocked out. Like knocked out.
Yeah.
So
Eric Marcotte, who covers MMA for Post Wrestling, he's in the chat room right now, and he said, I just watched 7 hours of MMA and there wasn't any knockout that brutal.
Jeez.
Like this, which you wouldn't expect.
So we're like, what happens now? Because this was a whole pre-booked match that now you're taking a guy out. So you're seeing the ref Drake. Again, this is all Drake. He fixed this. Drake is the best. Drake should be, he's in this main event for a reason.
Drake Younger, the referee, not the Toronto rapper.
Yeah, sorry, Drake Younger. Drake Younger, like saw the when Alexander Wolf kind of lays down and he looks and you see the reaction in Drake's face, like, oh shit, he's not there. We gotta do something. And in 3 seconds, he decides that's what he's doing. And holy shit. So shout out Drake Younger.
I wonder as well, I would imagine a lot of protocol has been implemented since we had the concussion in the Goldberg Taker match. We had Kairi Zane's, like, again with that.
Yeah.
Early on in that tag match, a whole time. And Zane continued that match where she really shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she wasn't knocked out. She was knocked loopy.
Right.
But here, he had to be removed.
So he is removed from this match. They take him down. They have him at ringside because they're trying to get him to come back in. But then they go, no, we can't do this. So Drake, the camera still is not sure what to do. Drake says something to Bobby Fish while the camera's on him and the mic is hot. Bobby's like, so who am I fighting now then? What are you talking about? So they continue the match here. And yeah, shout out Drake. So now it's a handicap match. Alexander Wolf is being taken to the back. They are not letting him continue, but they will continue this match. Now, we saw Roderick Strong take Bobby Fish's place recently in a tag team match.
In the Red Calvins.
In the Red Calvins. Roddy, if he's not a champion, how is he? Oh, he was wearing the Red Calvins because he was the North American Championship because it's red. Now he's not.
He's just wearing last week's dirty undies now, isn't he?
I'm in some black Calvins. They're my favorite.
I don't want to know.
But red ones are just too strange for me. Marty McFly wears them though. So Roderick Strong just took Bobby Fish's place in his red Calvins in that match. Like, was amazing. Whereas I had like, oh, is this what they're gonna do here? Is this what Roderick Strong does for a living? Picks up the pieces of a match, because I feel like Roderick Strong really did that in this match again.
Yeah, I mean, there was we both said we were watching this together, and there seemed to be, all these guys are so good, and they were off their game a bit for a big portion of this match, and understandably, like, they don't know, there's no word going to these guys how Wolf is. So it seemed a bit sloppy. A few things were being missed, and then Roddy got tagged in like a hot tag, and you saw him be like, right, we need to get this, we need to get this going. And this is against Walter, where I would imagine really Roddy wouldn't be having this spot against Walter, the Beast, but he's like, no, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm just fucking up Walter.
I don't know how many times we say it. Roderick Strong is underrated. He's the workhorse.
Oh, he's so fantastic.
He was Mr. Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
I think they even called him that a little bit. He is Mr. NXT. Without this guy, you have things fall apart. He is underrated. Everyone always like, he's the butt of the joke, essentially, even losing the title last week. But like, yo, he is that good. And watching this is crazy. Kyle O'Reilly mocks Walter while this match continues, doing like this weird dance because Walter's not able to tag in. But when Walter tags in, he does the dance to Kyle. Kyle is shooketh. He chases him. He beats up everyone. There's a trap leg German suplex. There's a chop to the face. Then Kyle locks in a guillotine, though. There's double Germans where Walter German suplexes Roddy, who is German suplexing Kyle by accident, inadvertently. So awesome. Just killing everyone. Holy shit. There's a chop to Kyle O'Reilly that just kills him. Like, I think he
runs into it, doesn't he? He turns around and like goes charging and just runs, bam,
chopped and just dies. And Nigel McGuinness with the call saying it looks like he just walked into oncoming traffic, which is exactly a great call from Nigel. Roddy is in, and this is where you said this is where things picked up, because Roddy's just like, all right, here we go. I'm back at work. I'm in the office. Let's fix this. And
what we got going on here, right? Okay.
What was Roddy's gimmick before Undisputed Era? He was a dad.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? He's the dad of NXT because he's bringing that bacon home, because he really fixes this. Not fixes this, because this is just impressive. Again, this guy should be way above where he even is in this company, honestly. In wrestling, I've followed him since like 2004, but just fantastic. He's doing suplexes, he's doing everything. There's a sick kick. Oh, well, he eats a huge lariat from Walter, which is like some kind of one of his finishers essentially, but Roddy still gets in here, hits a sick kick on, I believe, Fabian Eichner, then a tiger bomb and the stronghold, fishes in, hits an exploder on both of the Imperium guys. Then finally, Adam Cole tags in the match. He hits a super kick fake out, then the actual super kick. He hits the Ushi-Goroshi on Bartel, but Walter breaks it up. Walter then gets taken to the outside. Undisputed Era all realize that every time Walter enters the match, he's fucking shit up.
Yeah.
So they come to the conclusion, we take out Walter, we win the match. So they bring him to the tables. They set up for him to go through it. He somehow fights back, and he's about to put Kyle through one off another one. But here comes, again, the workhorse. Roddy slides in and hits an angle slam off another table on Walter through another announced table. Just crazy. They've taken out the Godzilla in the match here, so they can work now 4-on-2 against Eichner and Barcel. They're hitting all sorts of crazy things, but if you think the 4-on-2 would help, it doesn't. They fight back. The move where they do it on every week, where not every week, but Bartel throws a guy, Fabian catches him, and then hits a brainbuster. Yeah. Just insane, just crazy.
What I found more impressive here was he didn't quite catch Kyle. So Kyle was slipping. Normally he's pretty much thrown onto the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's like it's in place.
Yeah.
He was slipping, so Kyle's head was like below his chest, and he still managed to just catch him and deadweight lift him up into the brainbuster position to hit it.
And then does it.
So impressive. This guy is a beast.
Yeah, I don't understand. He's not human. He then beats up Roddy there. There's like back suplexes. Cole's in those. There's super kicks. There's a spot where Eichner does a springboard into the air. This is like Shawn Michaels, Shelton Benjamin when they had a match on Raw. Fabian Eichner springboards into the ring, flying so fast in midair, gets super kicked in the face by Adam Cole. Then he hits my favorite move in all of professional wrestling, the suplex lift into the Ushi-Goroshi, or as I call it, the Sushi Goroshi, but only a 2 count. Kyle O'Reilly hits a flying knee to Bartel and starts working the leg, and it's like they're selling like this could be the finish here, where there's so much pain, Bartel. Then there's a double jump moonsault from Fabian Eichner to break the leg lock up. To break the move up, he does a double jump moonsault from Fabian Eichner to break up the move. Just crazy. And if this wasn't crazy enough, the monster rises from the ashes. The Austrian gets up. He comes down. Wait, Walter is Austrian, right?
Yeah, not Australian, like Nigel said.
Yes. He called
the
him
big Australian.
And then Tom Phillips right away goes, yes, the Austrian. Says it so nice and slowly. Walter's back.
So I've lived and worked in Austria for like quite a while. In all the tourist shops, there are like signs and posters and things that go, there are no kangaroos in Austria. Because they always get it. They're always, oh, where are you from? Like Austria. Oh, Australian, yeah. But Sydney, Melbourne? No, Austria. I'm from fucking Linz. I'm from Graz.
Nice. Yeah. Austrians. I don't know any Austrians.
No.
I know a few Australians.
Yeah.
And they don't like being called Austrians.
Austrians are cool. They're fun people. I like
Well,
Austrians.
Walter's really fun because he gets in this match and it's like now it's like the baddie. He's come back from the grave and he is chopping everyone. He kills Adam Cole here with a chop again, just like last week. There's chops. He somehow eats a super kick from Adam Cole, but he blocks another one, and there's another huge chop. He hits a power bomb on Roderick Strong, goes up to the top rope, and hits the splash. This is how he won the UK championship that he has. But as he lands on this, he hits the splash off the top rope. But if you like watch how he hits the splash, his hands actually like land on the mat too to stop his like face from hitting. And he sells that like because he's been chopping people.
Yeah,
his hands are hurting, so he's like doesn't pin Roddy right away, and he's like, my hands. And as he's on that position on his knees, right behind him is Adam Cole, who hits the last shot, just nailing him. But as he's about to pin Walter, both Bartel and Eichner break it up. There's now a standoff, which of course there would have been 4-on-4, but it's the 3-on-4.
This still works though because Walter's so big. It's like, all right, you have 2 guys on Walter and the other 2 guys brawl.
This was cool because you have Undisputed Era who are they're everyone's hurt in this match at this point. And you have Undisputed Era, but they look at the 3 of them and they're like, we got you. There's 4 of us. And then Walter puts his arms around, he's in the middle and puts his arms around Bartel and Eichner, and he's like, he's probably saying something, and he speaks German, I think is what he yells in, right? Yeah. I know he's Austrian, but he speaks.
Yeah, well, like German's the common language between Italy, Germany, and Austria. Yeah.
So he goes, don't worry, boys. We got this. We got this. He's like huddling here with them. And then the standoff erupts. They all brawl. They all go at it. There's a sleeper with a sleeper on a sleeper. There's all the sleepers. There's a high-low, but there's some sort of confusion here that they didn't get.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So, yeah, Walter had the sleeper on Fish, and Kyle jumps on Walter's back to hit the sleeper. We can, wears him down, so he lets go of Fish, and in letting him go, they could hit the total elimination.
Right.
I thought this spot was awesome.
Yeah, but they couldn't really get the pin on it, so they're like, oh, what's happening? Then there's just chaos where everyone's on the outside. Roderick Strong is on the outside. Everyone's on the outside. And Fabian Eichner in the ring runs up to the top turnbuckle like it's just like nothing, like fucking Mario running and jumping. Just flies up to this thing, bounces off the turnbuckle to hit like this like almost RVD Eddie Guerrero using it's all in the thrust of the hips. Yeah. It's all in the thrust of the hips.
You got a bit of froggy going on there, right?
I know this is a podcast, but our people in the YouTube room are just watching me do this thrusting motion. And Fabian Eichner soars through the air onto all of Undisputed Era, taking them all out. I believe the commentary calls him the Italian flying tank. And it's just chaos. He's taking them all out. Bobby Fish is back in the ring. He turns around, and there is Walter. He hits a shotgun drop kick and then picks up Bobby Fish. And Walter hits the biggest fucking power bomb ever, killing Bobby Fish. Gets all of his weight while he's folding him up like an accordion, and Walter pins Bobby Fish just like that.
What I love with Walter's power bomb is we see a standard power bomb like he does is normally a high spot. It's not a finish.
Yeah.
And then you have your last rides, your pop-ups, your spirit bombs, and things like that are like your finishing power bombs. His is just a classic power bomb.
Kills you.
But he slams you down so hard and just folds you up.
And lean, he's big.
And
so he
leaning all his weight in. You're not going to kick out of that.
Yeah.
This was such a strange match for me.
Yeah, there's we got to talk about this because you're right. There was since the Alexander Wolf being injured, it takes you out of the match. The crowd was so hot, and as soon as that happened, it died. You heard crickets because people were scared. What happened to Alexander Wolf? He's knocked out? He's being taken out of the match. Is this a work? Is this real life? We don't know because he hurt. And then the match continues, and there's some slip ups. I didn't mention that Fabian Eichner and Bartel, they kind of missed a few of their spot. Their double drop kick they usually hit, they looked like they were a little checked out, as you would be. I could not imagine being in any of their positions, continuing on, kind of not knowing what's happening to your boy who you saw get injured in this match, and you're continuing kind of maybe going along with new things that you have to go into this match. But they picked it up after.
Yeah,
they picked this up. This was very impressive, and the fact that the fact that that happened that's why I say that this was like fantastic. Like, holy shit, kudos to these guys for continuing and doing such a to literally, you're right, they lost me. Like, they totally lost me.
I really don't want to sound like morbid or anything,
Yeah.
but this is wrestling and accidents have happened. We had La Parka pass away like
Yeah.
just a week or so
Holy.
ago. Do you know what I mean? Things do happen in the ring, and it when you see it's clearly shaken the other people in the ring
Yeah.
working it. As you said, the crowd. So looking in the chat room, there were some people that were actually there and were like they thought it might have been a work.
Of course.
But both you and I, for a good like 10, 15 minutes, like
we did not think it was a work.
I just kept going, look at Bobby's face. Look at Bobby just looks so pale and so worried. He's normally someone who's so expressive. He's always like, come on, Kyle. He's always like
on.
You watch him on the apron and he's so entertaining. And he was just there. Even when he was in the ring, he was just going through the motions the first period. And then I really felt it was that hot tag to Roddy where it was like, right, come on, guys. Like,
I have to say,
what's happened was shit, but we got to pick this up.
Yeah, I think Roderick Strong deserves some fucking crazy
by the end. This was a really good match, but I can't enjoy it.
Sure,
I can't. Like, we're recording this, and the information hasn't really come out about Alexander Wolf's well-being.
I really hope he's okay.
So obviously our thoughts are going to him, but I couldn't enjoy the rest of the match, to be honest.
I will say, when it happened and they continued, and especially when there's slip-ups and like you can see there's confusion, they're trying to work out what to do, and certain moves, some of them are not as comfortable with kind of winging it, so to speak.
No.
It totally took me out of it. But the reason that I have to praise this is the fact that they came back somehow and still managed to do it.
It was so early in the match as well. Like, this was okay. We got.
So hats off to this.
John was watching with his stopwatch, but we don't do that.
Yeah.
But this felt about 5 minutes into it. This happened,
yeah.
And I think they went on for another 25 or
just
something like that.
Hats off to these guys. Honestly, I don't know how you always say don't try this at home. There's injuries that occur, and it's scary watching this kind of things happen. And it totally took me out of it. But they continued on. The show must go on, as they say, and hopefully he's okay. It sounds like he was, because of the way they kind of said, he's being looked at right now in the back. They didn't say anything after the fact, being like, "Yo, he's hurt." Or
so, someone in the chat room who was at the show, and he thought he saw Wolf watching from the entrance. Obviously, this is an arena. Okay. Might not have been him or whatever, but he was like, "Oh, I thought I saw him." So hopefully that's true, and hopefully
he's okay.
He's okay, and just had his bell rung a bit and blacked out for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
But either way, the concussion protocol and stuff, we probably won't see him for a few weeks wrestling, which is good. Yeah. Let the guy rest.
Get better, Wolf. Get better, Wolf. So I still thought this was awesome. It's so cool in wrestling to be able to see two giant teams kind of, and they've turned Imperium to something at least over there, and I thought it was awesome. Again, shout out to all the guys involved. I couldn't imagine what it is to be like to have to do that. It's entertainment. It
reminded me of just watching the guys on the apron, and I feel like I spoke about this recently, and I can't remember why. But when Jerry Lawler had his heart attack, and it was I believe it was Team Hell No against, was it Darren Young and Titus O'Neil or something like that?
Right.
And you watch Kane, who is in a mask, and you see him on the apron, and you go, obviously you can't hear the audio, and you go, what's going on? Something's weird. But just watching him and his body language and his demeanor, go, something serious has happened.
Yeah, it's scary to see that. So I mean, we saw it with the Kairi Sane where she was knocked out and stuff like that. It's terrifying.
I mean, thankfully, Wolf wasn't then being slapped in the face and being put through tables and stuff.
Oh my god, yeah. So I hope, I hate to see that kind of stuff in wrestling. It does happen, obviously, and but again, hats off to these guys. I still thought this was awesome. I thought this whole show was awesome.
This show was fun.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. You're right. In the beginning, I was like, there was really no build to this pay-per-view. They kind of booked it a long time ago and then realized, fuck, we're in this weird pickle that we booked this and we can't get out of it now. So I thought maybe we won't do this again, but maybe we will because look
Well,
how awesome
it was interesting looking at the branding of it. It was Worlds Collide 2020.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going to do more. I did find I'm going to try and find the Triple H tweet, but
Okay.
Triple H put out a tweet which made it essentially sound like this is the first of many kind of co-branded things.
Cool.
I'm
here
it
cool
is.
With it.
Tonight felt like an epic beginning. The matches, the rivalries, the opportunities. Tonight, WWE NXT and NXT UK launched a brand.
NXT.
Thank you all for continuing to be a part of it.
Ooh.
So it sounds like they're going to want to cross-promote a lot more.
Yeah, definitely.
And I guess from Triple H's point of view, he wants to do this quote-unquote global localization thing.
Killing the indies, killing territories.
He wants to kill the indies, create his own territories.
Right.
If down the line, think 5 years from now, if this is a staple event, Royal Rumble weekend, you have the Worlds Collide, but it's then you've got NXT UK, NXT Japan, NXT Australia, NXT Germany, NXT regular, all collide this one night of the year.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I agree. No, it sounds
and
awesome.
I think this is just the first step. He's like, let's have this thing.
I give this show 2 thumbs up. Like, I really enjoyed this show. If you're kind of the people that, maybe you listen to some of the stuff, definitely watch the show and give us your thoughts because we want to know. But I didn't have so much hype going into it, but watching it, I was like, oh, of course they got me. It's so good. One more time, what was your match of the night?
I think I'm going to go with the...
I'm going to say...
I'm between the 4-way and DIY. You know what? I'm going to go with the 4-way for me.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed that match. And Devlin winning, never bet against the ace. But I'm going to say the tag team match, DIY, Mustache Mountain. But again, I also kind of want to pick that main event because fuck yeah, Roderick Strong. Always say it. Camp Strong, baby. Look at that guy. That's his job. Your match is changed and there's shit that went wrong. Fix it.
I feel because of what happened in the match, this isn't a match I'm going to go back and watch. Whereas I feel the 4-way and the tag match is one I might throw on when someone's over and I go, oh, watch this match.
Right, yeah.
I put a poll up on the Post Wrestling Forum, forum.postwrestling.com. Your thoughts on the whole show out of 10. And this scored very highly, an 8.47 rating, which for a show with 0 build, really,
definitely,
I think it's a really good score.
I would give this show an 8 out of 10. No problem.
I would, because I'm grading based on like other takeovers. Mm-hmm. I'll give it a 7.
Cool.
I thought there were 2 pretty weak matches on the show for me.
Yeah.
But the matches that were good really delivered. They were fantastic. You had 3 really solid matches.
I agree. Yeah, you did. You really did. Do you want to read some feedback from what other people thought of this show? I'll start with Mystery. Hiya. Worlds Collide exceeded my expectations. DIY versus Mustache Mountain. Amazing. So was the Cruiserweight title match. Rhea Ripley and Rhea was incredibly weak. It wasn't bad from a moves perspective, just not good either. If this is how Rhea's title matches are going to be, then we are going to have a problem. Rhea and Toni have 0 chemistry. Walter rules. That is all. Also, Braden and Davie, how broken up are you about Io Shirai being injured and having to wear a knee brace? It's heartbreaking, and I'm incredibly bummed she might be out. If tonight's women's title match is where we can expect the standard going forward, the women's division might be in deep, deep trouble with Io not around to carry the division, since she's the only woman who seems to put out amazing matches and elevate others. I am sad about Io Shirai, obviously, but maybe this is also a blessing for her. She comes back and will be propelled to even bigger things.
We also don't know how serious it is. It could just be a tweak, and she's wearing a leg brace to just help that. Mm-hmm. We don't know if it's tear or what at this point. But fingers crossed for a quick recovery. We go to Mechleth. First reaction to Worlds Collide. Great show. DIY Mustache Mountain was my match of the night, and great to see Imperium pick up their win. Weakest match for me tonight was the Women's Championship. Sorry, NXT Championship.
That's right.
But still good outing.
No one's going to be mad if I ever say, like, okay, then we have the NXT Women's match. Can I still say NXT Championship Women's match?
Or the NXT Championship between Balor and Balor.
Okay. That's where I'm already predicting.
Then we have these women fight.
But I also go, then these two dudes fight.
Yeah.
I still do like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all tough. I just don't want to make, I don't want to say wrong things when I actually mean well is my issue. Andrew from Cape Breton. The matches tonight were excellent, especially I wasn't expecting much from this show. My match of the night was the main event. Despite losing a guy in the middle of the match from a kick to the chin, both teams worked well together. Lots of quick tags and out. Great offense. The right guys won, especially since Walter has issues getting squashed at Survivor Series.
That's what Undisputed Era needed. They needed to get rid of Roddy and put in Drew McIntyre.
Oh,
just one Claymore would have ended this thing.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I know Walter did an interview saying he did not like that experience.
Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine why. He says, I'm looking at Reddit and a lot of people are pointing out something about the whole Fish Wolf issue. I saw first comparisons to Liv Morgan and Brie Bella, but it seemed here Fish knew something was wrong immediately and got Wolf's shoulder up for a kick out. Drake Younger got on Wolf right away, but after that, shout out to Drake and Bobby Fish. 9 out of 10 show. Question remains, though, what's the point of the Cruiserweight title? It doesn't help the majority of the guys get over. I think it does. I think it's a good
Well, I think
title.
now we're seeing it in UK. It's just this is your IC title. This is your North American title. This is the secondary title that a load of guys are going for.
This helps you as a performer, sports entertainer, wrestler, that one day when you leave WWE, if you leave WWE, you can charge a bit more somewhere else because you say you were a WWE something champion.
Sure.
This helps you say to people, I used to wrestle. What did you used to wrestle? I was a champion.
Yeah.
I call it a prop, but like it still means something to people.
Oh, it totally means something.
Yeah. Anyone who's like any of these indie guys who sign and then become a champion for the first time, like Jordan Devlin tonight, now it says he was a former WWE something champion. That means something to them and to us, the viewers. As I joke and say, it's just props. In a way, it still is, but it still means something.
But also, hopefully, it means a lot more cross promotion. We can have Angel Garza go over to NXT UK to try and get back his title.
Yeah. There's lots of
because he wasn't pinned in this, so he's got a rightful claim to go after it. Although I don't know, aren't they doing Wednesday. No rematches
Book
and all that?
Book it this Wednesday. Yeah, you go for it.
We have MJ from NJ.
Hello, MJ.
Hello, EO.
I miss EO already.
Fun show, some great matches, only hurt by the fact there were no stakes. I've been at a loss for who should win the Rumble, and now I'm full on Walter should win and face Brock. He's got bump guys Brock can destroy for weeks on TV, and he presents a legit threat we can buy into. A stadium getting behind that entrance would make him feel like the monster he is, and it could cement a new star if he could go over. He's a Vince-type guy, which is why I'm so behind it. It's realistic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're going to see Walter Brock just yet, but it sounds like to me, will Walter be around in WWE? What's the deal? Like, is he happy there? Because that interviews he's been doing sounds like he's pissed off that they booked him like that. But I don't know. He's so special watching him in this main event. He is very special. If I was running a wrestling company by the name of WWE, he would be facing someone like Brock at WrestleMania, definitely. But that just doesn't really happen.
It's too realistic and makes too much sense, and that's why we're never seeing it.
Yeah, exactly.
MJ.
Yeah, exactly. We go to Scrump. Bang, bang. What is up, you guys? Quick thoughts on the card. Ilja, I forget how to do Ilya Dragunov is great, and I can't wait to see how much better he can get from here. Good call giving Devlin the title, as he's too good to just be lingering around NXT doing nothing. I agree. Tag match was bonkers, and I would love to see some more DIY versus Mustache Mountain down the line. I used the women's match to go put in some laundry. I love Toni, but this match made no sense as how she got the title match itself. If there were a chef kiss emoji, it would be used to describe the main event. I hope that Wolf is okay, as he legit looked knocked out. Walter came off looking like $1 million, and it's a travesty since that travesty that was Survivor Series. I thought this was the perfect show to take place of a takeover. 9 Imperium posing at the top of the ramps out of 10.
Yes. Why did Nigel mention Survivor Series? He was like, some of you may be familiar with Walter from his outstanding performance at Survivor Series. Like, what, when he got Claymored in 2 minutes and was first out? Okay, Nigel.
When all these like smart wrestling fans were mad. Yeah, we remember Nigel. Thank you.
Nigel goes off on one sometimes.
Yeah.
We go to Chris from Pennsylvania. Don't have much to say that hasn't been said already. The Cruiserweight match, DIY Mustache Mountain, and the main event were all excellent. 3 matches of that quality in 2.5 hours is an easy 9 out of 10 for me. One thing I did want to add, though, is that I really enjoy Tom Phillips calling shows. I hope they find more regular work for him. I might try and check out your watch-along stream tomorrow for the Rumble. It should be lit.
Yes.
Oh, let's plug.
Yeah, we're using this this app that contacted us. They wanted us to see if we could, use this and find it any interesting, and we did. It's called Hot Mic. For the Royal Rumble, we're going to be watching it live in the BDE, the Braden Davie estate. We're going to be hanging out watching the Royal Rumble, doing a little Rumble gambling, I'm sure, maybe quietly. And we're going to be going live. We're going to be streaming live. If you ever wanted to watch wrestling with us as your friends, you can watch the Royal Rumble live with us as we watch the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I described this app as Twitch for sports.
And sports entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it exactly is. So it's everything. It's free. You don't need to do anything. So just download the app. Hot Mic app is the app.
Yeah, download the app. Click on the tab that says WWE and look for Royal Rumble at the BDE.
Yeah,
and you'll find us.
All you gotta do is you can hang out. It syncs with your audio and stuff, so it knows where if there's lag and stuff, so you don't get spoiled or you're lagged.
Yeah, so we'll be in sync with you guys.
So we're just trying it out. So if you are interested in hanging out with us, do that and follow us.
Yeah.
Follow the upNXT Twitter for all the information and all that stuff at upNXT Podcast, because it's free to just hang out. If you're going to be watching the Rumble anyways, definitely click join and hang out with us. Let's go to Daniel from Brooklyn. Hello, Daniel. Daniel does the theme songs on our Patreon, all the synthy 8-bit stuff for the movie reviews. That's Daniel. He says sometimes long time. Does that warrant?
Sometimes long time.
Fun show. Hope Wolf is okay. Y'all see that side Russian leg sweep in the main event?
Yeah, man. I can't believe you didn't call it. Marcel Bartel hit a side Russian leg sweep, right. And I don't know how it didn't finish the match.
I still think the Sushi Goroshi is the better movie.
It's a close number 2.
Yeah. This next one's long.
Do you want to go for it?
Do you want me to read this one?
Sure.
Hugh from Melbourne here. That was an overall okay show. The crowd wrecked Draganov in the Balor match, despite Balor's heel efforts. I hope Ilja pops up on the NXT now and then to get him more over. The Cruiserweight match was mental. He says DIY Mustache Mountain was a fantastic match. He says, do you think Devlin will defend at TakeOver Portland? I would love to see that, but I don't think so.
I don't know if there's space.
Yeah. DIY was awesome. I don't like tag team finishers being kicked out of, but it was still a hell of a match for all 4 guys. Given that backstage segment we got with Balor as well, maybe we'll see Bate and Balor on TV. Or at a UK takeover. Yeah, that's true. You could prolong that for a special match down the line. That would sell tickets. Toni and Rhea have had better matches before. Rhea working heel back then was the reason. Belair match at TakeOver will be interesting. The main event tonight was fantastic. Even if it didn't get off to the start they wanted to, but props to Drake Younger for being immediately on the Wolf and getting him out of there. I think Drake was also helping call the match after the injury, given he used to wrestle, and it wouldn't surprise me. MVPs of the match were Roddy and Eichner, and the height Eichner got after that last cross body was ridiculous. Overall, I think a Big 4 pay-per-view weekend deserves a proper takeover, but this was a fun show. Maybe they could go back and forth with the UK hosting the next Worlds Collide.
I think the thing is, because they want to do this event and they want to do a takeover, the name takeover will get doesn't have to piggyback necessarily.
Yeah.
This, I don't think you'd sell too well. Whereas people that are going to the Rumble anyway are like, yeah, I'll go to Worlds Collide.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Right, you're right.
So you couldn't do Worlds Collide next month in Portland.
Fair.
Over this,
Gotcha.
I don't think. We go to Jesse in Taipei.
It's Jesse from the 6.
AKA Jesse from the 6.
In Taipei.
Watching on delay, I'm still on the main event, so I won't comment on that except to say I hope Wolf is okay. Injuries like that make me appreciate both how hard wrestlers nowadays strike, as well as how precise they normally are. It's amazing injuries like this don't happen more often. I thought Balor versus Dragunov was everything I wanted out of an opener, and the Cruiserweight 4-way was great. Happy for Devlin, but why did he have the Italian flag on his ring jacket? He had the Irish flag on his trunks, but the one on his jacket was definitely Italian.
What?
Does he have Italian ancestry, or was this a fuck up by the costume designer? I'm guessing it's maybe a slightly faded flag or something. They're very similar.
Come on.
DIY versus Mustache Mountain was amazing. I got goosebumps when DIY came to the ring. It won't happen under Vince's reign, but DIY could 100% main event a Mania, and it would be epic.
Yes.
This match had expert use of comedy, hard-hitting action, and some great near falls. If I'm going to be a pedant, which I am, all 4 men were in the ring too much. They got confused about who was the legal man, and the ref looks dumb. Just do a tornado match if that's the style you want to do. But hey, I'm nitpicking. Great match, very good show. Take care. P.S. I just saw the O'Reilly-Walter exchange. Those guys could main event a Mania too. Cool. Kyle is so fucking good.
Yeah, he is. Kyle O'Reilly is cool. Brian from New York can't guess the degree of difficulty it is for wrestlers to call an entire 8-man match on the fly. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how. And someone was saying that the Drake maybe was helping. That's awesome. Hopefully Wolf is all right, but with every negative is a room for a positive. The handicap stipulation made Walter look even more of a monster. Bartel and Eichner getting the big stake to work on is great as well. Also want to echo from above and say how great Tom Phillips was. He and Nigel work really well together as a 2-man booth. Yeah, I agree. Awesome job, Tom Phillips.
We go to Harry from Houston. As promised, I'm giving my feedback from my live experience.
Awesome.
I'm going to be totally honest, as I was kind of distracted for a lot of the show talking to the girl next to me.
Ooh.
Oh, we've all been there, Harry from Houston. But I tried to stay engaged with the matches regardless.
You got to talk to you got to do it. You got to do what you got to do, man.
The pre-show match existed, and I remember nothing from it. I think Mia did a destroyer, but that's about it.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. I didn't watch it.
We didn't watch it.
We didn't watch it.
I'm going to guess it wasn't a destroyer. It was probably a code blue.
Yeah.
But who cares? The opener was fine, but didn't hit an epic level or anything. I don't think it did much for Balor's opponent. Going to be honest, I saw like maybe 30% of the 4-way, so I'm not going to comment on that.
I hope you got a number, dude. You missed some awesome wrestling to talk to someone. Yeah.
Wait, you missed the 4? Oh.
You missed the 4-way because you were busy chatting.
This girl has to be a smoke show. Like,
no, you better have gotten the number, or it's been a waste. Jeez.
The tag match was pretty good. Not my match of the night, but just under the level I expected from the 2 teams. Women's match ended before I even realized it. Main event was incredible, with Walter slowly becoming the crowd favorite in the match. I couldn't see the table spot, but the chop sounded absolutely incredible. What, when you're turned chatting to the girl? Yeah, oh, that was a Walter chop.
I think Harry from Houston, if we ever go to Houston, we need to hang out.
Yeah,
with
yeah. There was a weird moment where you could clearly hear what sounded like a bump, but there definitely wasn't one. I don't know if that means the bump sound is fake, but it certainly felt like it. Sometimes there's a little lag on the mic in an arena, which sounds different on TV.
No, they would never add like a sound effect.
No, I know the first time I went to a WrestleMania, I was like, wow, this ring is so loud. And there's a kind of lag there. Yeah. I also want to note that I got to fist bump Matt Riddle and Dakota called me a loser. So that was cool.
Excellent.
The guy sitting in front of us worked for WWE and introduced us to the German announce team, along with giving me some pretty juicy intel for the Rumble, which I'm going to choose against spoiling here.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't read ahead.
Oh.
Overall, I had a great time, but I'll probably want to rewatch some of the matches on the network. Hey, and maybe with your new boo.
Yeah, maybe you can do DIY versus Moustache Mountain and chill.
Yo!
Right?
Yeah.
You could. Or you'd be like, hey, or maybe don't say this though. Hey, do you want to
4-way and chill?
Yeah, 4-way and chill. 4-way and chill. Have a little Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah.
You know? Yeah. We go to our last piece of feedback from Neil from Northern Ireland.
Sorry, our man Neil.
Oh yeah.
No, our new NXT World Champion on the Patreon.
Hey, thank you so much, Neil, for becoming. Yes, we have the North American $5 a month tier for our Patreon. Gets you all the shows. But if you are like Neil here and you want to go the extra mile, you can become the world champion. And $25 gets you to all the extra shows. You get to come on a show with us, pick something to review. We also will send you something in the mail. Nice little present from the BDE here. And Neil is the latest to join. So thank you, Neil. But I'm going to continue with that. Neil from Northern Ireland, a vote for the main event as match of the night and high praise due to the referee Drake Wirtz for handling the Wolf injury so quickly and so well. That match was even better for the way of the remaining as it carried out. As usual, Kyle O'Reilly stood out to me. He does literally everything brilliantly. Good to see Walter get some shine back since Survivor Series. Side note, I tweeted to you guys already, but I love the Rumble trivia game. Terrific work, Davey and Braden. How are you coping with being branded as the hater by WH Park? How will I respond to that? How am I coping with that? Spoilers, but WH Park doesn't win the Royal Rumble game. So men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Yeah, I don't think Braden gives a fuck about what WH thinks about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys. This tonight was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't go in with the same anticipation as we normally would for a takeover.
Exactly.
But 3 out of 5 matches really delivered for me.
3 out of 5 ain't bad.
3 out of 5 ain't bad. Thank you to everyone who's been in the room today. It's maybe been the most active our chat room's ever been.
Yeah. Again, youtube.com/upNXT. After these takeovers, we go live. And after NXT, every Wednesday, we go live on our YouTube, youtube.com/upNXT. And but then we because we're recording the podcast and you're listening to it here, wherever you get your fine podcasts, subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, rate us, say nice things about us. Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, all the apps, Spotify even, and again on the Patreon, because patreon.com/upNXT. We do AEW versus NXT on the upNXT show every Thursday as well. So if you want to hear more of us, every Thursday it's a brand new show where we do the AEW reviews. We also do What's Next, where we go back in time and we're watching all the NXT. We just saw Seth Rollins win the NXT title for the first time, so that was awesome. And then we do like Up Yours. We did a Bond movie review coming out this weekend. We're doing so many podcasts, and it's all because of sorry, I had to stop recording there for a second. My thing stopped recording. So how about we say goodbye to the YouTube world? And
join us tomorrow for the Royal Rumble. John and Way will obviously have their post show. But if you want to join us to watch the Royal Rumble, we'll be here probably with some beer, with some pizza. We will be on the Hot Mic app.
Yes.
So go on your app store, Google Play, the Apple Store, and search for Hot Mic, HOTMIC. Click the WWE tab, find us, join us in that room. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the funnest event of the year. Come on.
Yes.
So join us. Have some fun with the boys at the BDE.
So thank you, everyone in the YouTube room. We're going to get out of here. Take care. Goodbye. And be safe. See you Wednesday.
Ahoy! Sweet. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
That was a lot of fun tonight. You guys were awesome. Like, there was some fantastic chat going on. Yeah, join us again after NXT every Wednesday. Would love to see this room as active as it is tonight. But Braden's got to work early. We need to edit this.
Yep.
I might go for a little drink.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Love ya.
It never works when you click end stream. Okay, something happened to the recording.